Hello friends, welcome to Joy of Life. So today we're going to discuss about another sorting algorithm over here. It's a topological sorting algorithm. Important sorting algorithm wherein you have a build system or you have some use case where you have some dependencies. That dependency should be executed first and then the task. So though it is called as a topological sorting algorithm, but it's actually not a sorting algorithm, it's a ordering algorithm, you can say. So it's also known as topological ordering, right? So this is performed on a direct acyclic graph. Over here, if you see this graph, it's a directed graph, right? The path is from G to A, and it doesn't mean that it's G to A and A to G as well, right? And this graph should not have a cycle. We will understand why that is important. We are going to see in much more details and understand them fully. So let's talk about a naive scenario over here before we proceed with the actual algorithm. So let's say you wanted to do a course A, and you have been told that in order to do course A, you should do course B first. And when you tried doing course B, so it says that you should do C and D, and then only you are eligible to do B. And in order to do C, you have to do E as well. So there is a chain of dependency. We see that to do E or D, you can do either of the one first, right? There is no harm in doing E or D first. You can start the course E or the D, right? Because both doesn't have any dependencies, right? Then you can do B. Can you? No, because you haven't done C yet, right? So C has to come first. So once you have done C, then you can do B, and then you can do A, right? So if you see the ordering, there are two ordering that is possible over here, right? You do E, then D, then C, then B, then A, right? Or what you can do, you can start with D, you can do then E, then C, then B, then A, right? Both are valid answers over here. So E, or in between E and D, you can do any one of them first, right? So it will give you two ordering. So that's why it's more logical to say that this is a ordering rather than a sorting, right? Here we have discussed about a course, right? It could have been a build system also, right? Suppose you have a module A over here, and A needs the module B, and B needs the module C and D, and C needs the module E. So when you start building the system, you should build E or D first, right? Since they don't have a dependency, right? And then you can go to C, and then to B, and then to A, right? So these can be used. So these are the two classic example where you need topological ordering, right? What we have done is we have taken a direct acyclic graph over here. So what happens is, in order to B, you don't have to do anything. In order to do D, you have to do E, and E also depends on B. A depends on D and B, and so on, right? So each of the outgoing edges from this is a dependency, and each of the incoming edges are dependent on me, right? So why do we say that it's a direct acyclic graph? So first is, if it is having a cycle, then it's never possible for us to resolve that dependency. Just imagine a scenario where A depends on B and B also depends on A, right? So which one would you do first? So there shouldn't be any cycle, right? Over here you see that F has dependency on CA, but it's not causing a cycle, right? You cannot come back to F. So if I start from F, there is no way possible for me to come back to F. So that means that this doesn't have a cycle over here, right? So that's the important part, that your graph should not contain any cycle. So this graph over here, as you see, there is a cycle, right? A requires B, B requires C, C requires D, and D requires B again, right? So there is a cycle. If you start from B, you can come back to B using this directed path, right? But over here, none of the node will support that. You start from D, you cannot come back. You start from A, you cannot come back, right? You start from G, you cannot come back, right? So we have to make sure that we are doing it on a cyclic graph that does not contain any cycle. So how we are going to solve this problem over here? So we have been given with these nodes over here, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, right? and each of them also have a mapping to these paths over here. So they have this uh, edges stored with them so that you can traverse between them. So we are going to use a couple of data structure over here in order to come up with the solution. So one data structure that we will be using over here is a stack, and the other is a set. And also we are going to use an algorithm over here, that is your DFS. We'll take the help of uh, DFS, that is depth first search, in order to get this done. So we have taken a stack over here. So this stack is a data structure which supports last in first out, right? And we have a set which does not allow us to store duplicates, right? And we are going to use these two in order to come up with the solution, like what is the path over here, and we are going to see how we are going to get those paths, right? So this graph that we just tried out is a small one, right? We could do it manually, but in a very complex system it's not possible for us to get that done just like that, right? So what we are going to do is we are also going to keep a track of, so this you say is our array over here. We got all the nodes, right, that we are considering over here. So we will start with the current, or the first element we'll be picking up, right, from the array. So currently my active element is the first element in the array, which is a. So let's give a name to our stack and the set. So the set is going to track whatever we have visited so far. So I'll call it a visited set. And the stack is having our final result stored in the reverse order, right? So we'll call it processed. So whichever node, so whenever I get a node over here, I will try to see first what I'll do is as this is my current node over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to store this node in my visited set, saying that I have already visited this node. So let me put that into the set. So A goes into the visited set, and what we do is we go into the recursion from this point of time, right? So we start doing a DFS from here. That means we are doing a depth first search. So the first node we get is a D. I'm just putting it over here to give it a tree-like structure. A is the one who has introduced the D, right? So we go to the first node, that is the D, right? And we see in the visited set that it's there or not, and we see it's not there. So we add it to the visited set that D has been visited. So since it's a depth first search, what we do, we go to the first node of D. So we get a E over here. Since E is introduced by D, so I'm putting it below E. So it's all recursion that's happening over here, right? And what I also do is to put E into my visited set, that this node has been visited, right? But none of the nodes, if you look over here, has been completely explored. So I am not adding it to my stack, right? Again, from E, what I get is E is having only one child, that is a B. So I change my visited to B. So from E, what we get, the first cell, a B. So I put the B over here. So I go into recursion again. So mind it, these are all happening in a recursive cycle, right? So once again, B, what I do is I add the B into my visited set, right? So since B has been completely done, so it does not have any unexplored child. So we put the B into our stack, saying that this has been completely processed. And since B is gone now, so this node is gone from here. So let's remove this. So I'm just keeping it by the side, so you can just ignore these nodes over here. So we come back to E, and E has only one child, and that is done. So there is no paths remaining for E, right? So E is also completely processed, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to take E and put E inside our stack, saying that it has also been processed. And we go back to the recursion and we come to D. So if you look over here, how it is telling that B has to be done first before E inside our stack. See how the results are building up over here, right? So we come to D, and again D has only one outgoing edge, that is towards Z. So we are done with D as well, right? So what I can say is that D is also completely processed, and put it back into my stack, and my recursion is going back to A. So from A there was two outgoing edges, A is done, so the next edge that we'll get is a B. But we see that B is already present inside our visited set. That means it has been processed earlier, right? So we are going to get rid of B. We'll not take any further action on B since it's already present in our visited set. So we come back to A, and this time we know that we are completely done with A. We have explored all the childs of A. So what we are going to do is we are going to put A inside our stack, saying that this can be done now. So if you see over here, in order to do A, B, E, D must be done, right? So B, E, D all are present over here. In order to do D, we need E and B to be done, right? So you can see that the order is getting persisted over here. So I get the next element, which is a B. So if you remember, our pointer was here, that's why we got a A, right? Now what we'll do is we'll increment our pointer and get the next element. So the next element that we'll get is a B. So B becomes our current, and we see that B is already present, right? So what we are going to do is we discard B, and then we move our pointer to the next element, which is a C over here, right? And C becomes our current element. Go ahead and check our visited. We see that C is not there, so we are going to add C to our visited set. C, and we start exploring the childs of C. So C has only one child, that is a D. So we get a D over here from C, right? And we see that D is already in our visited set, so we ignore D. And then we see that C doesn't have any outgoing edges, so what we do, we put the C into our stack saying that C has been done. And then we increment our pointer to the next node, which is a D. So once again, when we get D, we see that it's already in the visited set, so we are going to just discard it. So the pointer moves on to the next element, which is a E. And once again, we see that E is present in our visited set, so we discard E. So our pointer moves on to the next element, which is a F. And we see that it's not in the visited set, so we are going to first put it into our visited set. And then we are going to go into a recursion. So we first go to C. Once we get C, we see that it's already in the visited set, so we are going to discard it. And then F has another child, which is A. And we see that A is already there in the visited set, so we are going to discard it. And then we see that we are completely done with F. So all the childs has been visited, so we know it has been completely processed. So we are going to put F inside our stack. We move on our pointer to G. So G becomes my current element, and we see that G is not present inside our set. So we are going to add G to our set, right? And then we go into the recursion again, and we go to the first and the only child of G, which is A. So from here we can see that A is already there inside the visited set, so we are going to ignore it. And then G doesn't have any more child, so what we are going to do is we are going to take G and put it into our process stack, right? And now the pointer moves to the next element, and there is nothing, so we are done with our things, right? So what we are going to do now is to pop things back out of the stack in order. So last in, first out, right? What do? We start popping out from the stack to get the actual result. So we get G out first, since it's a stack, so it's going to the last element is going to come out first, right? So G comes out first, and then F comes out, and so on. So we are going to pop from the stack until it becomes empty. So we take them out, and this is the order we are left with, right? So let's take this result and check it with our input, right? From this side over here, that B has to be done first, then E, then D. So you can see that we can do D once you have done B and E, right? Then A, because A needs D as well, so it should come after D, right? And then we have C. So again, C needs D and D needs E and B, right? So it has to be after D, right? And then you can do F, because F needs C, C needs D, D needs E, E needs B, so it has to be after that. And then at the end, it has to be G, because G needs A as well, and A needs D. So A basically needs almost everything, right? It needs D, it needs E, it needs B. Only for F and C, everything else is required by it, right? So you have this order over here, but do remember there can be multiple orders in case if you get the input in a different order, like apart from A, B, C, D, E, F, G, maybe you get the order as A, D, C, B, G, F, E, then you will have a different ordering, and all of them are valid ordering that you will be coming out going by this approach over here, right? So this is the topological sorting all about. So these are, as discussed earlier, very important for your build or your course schedule or any kind of algorithm or a ranking algorithm, wherein you need to know that what is who is going to go first, right? Who is going to go prior to me? Before we finish up, let's talk about the complexity of this algorithm over here. So for runtime, what will happen is we'll have an order of v plus e, right? So where v is the total number of nodes that you have and e is the total number of edges you have. So you can have multiple edges, right? So when you have more number of edges means more number of traversal that will take place over here, right? So this complexity is very same as the DFS as mentioned over here. So we are basically doing a DFS, nothing else we have been doing over here, right? And coming to the space over here, so we'll have order of V complexity over here. So you will end up storing all the nodes in your set and in your stack, right? So you'll be storing it twice. So we can drop the constant and we can say that it is order of V complexity that we'll be end up having, right? So we'll be storing V number of nodes in the stack and V number of nodes in the set. And for runtime, we'll be going through all the nodes plus the number of edges each has, right? That will also contribute, because if I have too many edges coming out, so my complexity will proportionately increase in that case. So yeah, that is all about topological ordering or sorting over here. So if you have any question, do let me know. If you have any doubts or questions or what you think about this video, do let me know. Please feel free to hit the like button and share with your friends if you think the solution was simple and was helpful to you. So thank you once again for watching the video. Do keep safe, stay at home, don't go outside, and yeah, that's all. Bye bye and take care.